Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we're joined by Cameron. And man, Cameron, you've got an extensive background, man. You're with Legion Network, Block Mob Labs, and Mizan. But first and foremost, man, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Definitely, man, definitely. So definitely want to jump into everything you're doing. Let's start with the background, man. You've got an extensive background. So before we talk about and maybe it'll come up in the background before we talk about the three things I mentioned prior. Tell everybody a little bit about your background, like, where'd you come from and what kind of got you into this industry, and if there was anything you did before this.
Absolutely. So born and raised Southwest London, UK. Very, very interesting time. My background's in digital design. So I got into freelancing actually when I was 17 years old. And from there went into building an agency. Scaled this to around 18 contractors, having, been interested in 2D animation, 3D animation, and various other disciplinaries like that. My goal was actually to, get into the sort of like Pixar realm of things and animate in that regard. And I went to university to study 3D animation. However, left. It wasn't for me, wasn't of high interest and didn't really meet my needs. So I actually found my way into crypto through NFTs around late October 2020. And it was everything that I wanted for, my designers, for myself. So, pretty much went all in on that side. And naturally, crypto just, fell on my lap. It was adjacent to what I was, researching and, sort of found a deeper interest on that side. And it's weird. I'd sort of like heard about crypto growing up, but not to the point where I don't think there was enough interested people around me to like really set that light. I got there a little later, but we got there, so I can't complain.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of people come in for different reasons, and I think everybody's story I hear, 99% of them, should I say, have heard about it prior. We didn't pay it enough attention or dismissed it, didn't think it was really
Yeah,
anything to worry about, and then it came back. But once you get in, you go down that whole rabbit hole of what the possibilities are, right? So many
100%.
different possibilities. Yeah, so let's jump in. I mean, Legion Network, I think is probably the one of the biggest things I've seen, that looking at what you've done in the past. So tell everybody what Legion Network is and how that went about.
Sure. So Legion Network is a crypto super app where you can see it as a all-in-one app, helping, the experienced and inexperienced get some of the best services in the crypto space. This includes everything from gaming to education, so earning CPD certified accreditation for learning about blockchain, crypto, etc. Launch pads, raffles, non-custodial wallets, having access to over 15,000 digital assets and over 40 blockchains, all from the comfort of your phone, swapping, bridging mechanisms, deposits, withdrawals, etc. This was the goal that we'd set out to achieve, having, experienced some of the downfalls, back in 2021 and, having a trillion tabs open just to do some pretty basic functions and research. And we just wanted to sort of just bring everything into the comfort of our phones and not have to panic, to get into a pre-sale and rush home to open up my PC and, so my laptop, should I say. Yeah, it was a very convoluted time. So this was our sort of solution for the market. And, we went out and I believe achieved that.
Yeah, nice. I mean, it makes sense, right? When you think about how most people use tech today, I kind of got mine right in front of me, right? Most of us are mobile first, right? We're
Yeah,
mobile first and like to be able to do everything from mobile. Sometimes it's good to get on a bigger screen and use your PC.
agree.
But I think most people are looking for mobile first. And if you focus on that simplicity on mobile, it makes, even if you do decide to use something from the web, it's a lot easier, a
100%.
lot easier to use. So how did it go about? Like I mean, you guys achieved a ton of downloads, right? Like millions of downloads. So what I'm curious about is if there were, and what types of community building to get that amount of people, right? I don't think it's just marketing, right? You've got to build a
Right.
community around it. Basically a legion, an army of people, right? That are
Exactly.
pushing it, right? So
Spot on.
how was that process of getting to that? Because I've seen a lot of great projects launch and not get the traction they need because of lack of marketing, lack of community. So how did you guys go about that?
Yeah, so I think there were a few strategic plays at hand at once. We had a very enticing campaign. We were offering, $5 worth of, this soon to be token for verified users within our platform. And of course, there were specific things that would authenticate someone as being a verified user. And I think that one sparked interest because the project was valid. It had a very comprehensive backing behind it, and interest. And I think there were people equally that wanted to, I guess, kind of bypass the system and maybe cheat their way to these, these tokens. And, some of these people were YouTubers or people that had YouTube channels, and they, I guess, sort of broadcasted their findings to the world. And we had videos of like how to hack into the Legion Network app. And we knew it was never going to be possible. We had a very robust CISO team, and excuse me. And yeah, it was a thing where these videos garnered 20,000 views, 30,000 views, and we decided to leave it overnight. Excuse me, sorry. And we wanted to like take these down, but we thought we'd leave it. So the next morning we look again, and those 30,000 view videos were now 80,000 views, 100,000 views. And I think there was a lot of interest from people as to like why there's so much attention surrounding this app, why people want to get into it so badly, which played a part into it. I think the state of the market as well was also a contributing factor. I think it was probably the best time, and any later would have been an issue. I mean, we launched the app January of 2022. So it was right before pretty much like the bear market hit. Maybe it was like the end of Q1. So yeah, it was a good time. And then I also think as well, just the degree of action within our Telegram channels, within our Discord, on X, on social media. We were knocking out posts multiple times a day and really engage with the community. I'd personally get on calls with our community members daily, just answering questions, really giving insights into the projects that we wouldn't be posting about. And I think that just really resonated with a lot of people, that we were so transparent and so open to answer any questions that they had. And that, I think, sits well in general with such a community in crypto, being transparent. I mean, that's our nature.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not in there helping to steer the conversation towards what you're building, what's coming, and answering those questions, I've seen it a time and time again. The conversation always goes to price, right? And we all like to see something that we have go up in value, but it's not really just about price in the shorter term, because we all know how that volatility was. I mean, when you launched, you're right at the kickoff of the bear market. So right when the bear market, things are going down. But it's not just about a token price. You built something around it, and regardless, and that's what people need to realize. Regardless of what happens with the price in the short term, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go everywhere. But that type of transparency and trust that you can build is more important, and it'll steer those conversations, because then if everybody's quiet, most people are just posting about the price, why the price going down, or when's the price going to go up, instead of, man, this is what these guys are doing. This is exciting. Let's follow along with this. So went live in January 22. When did the LGX token go live?
So RTG was late April.
Late April. Okay. Yeah. So market's going down, and and so you've seen some highs, some lows. I'm sure, just like everybody else. I haven't looked at the chart, but I can pretty much understand that. And you guys are still building. So before we move on to the next topic, what's next for Legion? Like, what do you guys see is coming? Obviously the market's in a better place, right? And so there's a lot, which is, it's good for price, but it's also good because you're bringing a lot more new eyes on the market itself, on companies and projects. So what's next for Legion that you can talk about? I know most people have like a public roadmap and stuff they can't talk about yet. So maybe share what you can talk about.
So yeah, I'd say there's definitely some exciting things that unfortunately can't speak about. But what I can talk about is the expansion of the app and its, just various features in itself. A lot of people have been waiting for the launchpad. This is something which we've been building in the background and been very excited to sort of like bring to market. And yeah, I'd say just more partnerships as well. We're always intrigued to get more partnerships on board. For people that are interested in partnering, please feel free to get in touch. Would love to see what we can do. But that's those are the two, I'd say, main things that have been pretty exciting. The conversations happening in the background, which very much looking forward to an exciting 2025 for Legion.
All right, looking forward to that. So let's move on, man. Let's talk about, so what is Block Mob Labs? You offer services, design and development services, is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So pretty much everything A to Z in the Web3 space, from your smart contracts to your SaaS products, web apps, even layer one blockchains, if you needed it, can make it happen. Um, we were actually responsible for, I mean, naturally, you want to build an in-house team. So the team were responsible for building the Legion Network app and doing so comprehensively, and, such a great time. And, with Legion having, well, we just spoke about it, but supporting excess of, 4.5 million people, on a platform when, that was an expectation, out of nowhere. We had the goal of what, 1 million users within 12 months, but achieved that within 15 days of launching. So we had to have a product which could sustain that many people, even though, we just weren't ready for it in no way, shape, or form. So that's why I'm excited with Block Mob Labs, like having such a robust team, 52 in-house devs and counting, that can, be able to bring this level of quality to market in such an efficient time and efficient price.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. So curiosity, out of some of the stuff that your team at Block Mob has built, have you done much in terms of, I know the hottest topic at the last few events I was at was Ton Games, right?
Yeah,
Ton Network,
absolutely.
Telegram Games, right? So
100%.
you guys been contacted about that quite a bit?
Yeah, so we've done, I'd say, maybe like 15 Telegram games in the past 3 months, I'd say. It's been an insane time. Like, I'm so fascinated about that space. I'm always ideating and finding ways to, bring products to market, whether that's by way of our clients or things that we're building in the background. But yeah, we've done some really comprehensive Telegram mini app games. I think we launched one actually on, I'd say maybe like last week Monday, I think. And yeah, it's been an really interesting time. I mean, you've got, from mining games and mini apps to, like social media mini apps. You're seeing, what else have we done? Of course, your standard in the earlier days, tap to earn games, but I think that's sort of run its course, or hopefully, I hope they have. But it's been a really interesting time, and I only see Ton Game mini apps, just rising in quality, rising in use case, and hopefully longevity.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the tap game was something that brought a lot of hype. I mean, Hamster Combat, 300 plus million users, but you're literally just tapping the screen, evolving a hamster, and that's kind of where I saw it evolving. Right, you're gonna have that initial wave where everybody's jumping in with some premise of a token, but now you're seeing more of games being different, developing. Not everything has to be a game.
Exactly.
The simplicity of it, if people that are listening don't know, I mean, within Telegram, you're able to launch an application, whether that be a game, a social media platform, or whatever, without having to go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store to download an app, right? So you launch it within the Telegram browser, and you can do a lot of things in there. One of the guys I met at DevCon in Thailand about a month ago was demoing a product to me that they created, to where if you've ever been, to any of these events, so everybody's connecting through Telegram, right? Any of these conferences or anything. So everybody's connected through Telegram, and he built a CRM within Telegram to where whenever you connect with somebody, you type in the code to launch the bot in that chat with them, and it basically pulls all the information and it puts it into a CRM for you to easily manage.
I need that.
Yes, when he told me about it, I was like, man, I need this. He said it's not ready yet. And funny enough, he just messaged me a couple of days ago, said they think the biggest problem they didn't roll it out to everybody yet was in their tests, they were having issues where the account was getting banned. Because I guess it picked up on something. And so they worked with some of the Telegram people and were finally able to get an answer and kind of go around that issue. So I'll shoot you a private message once I know for sure it's ready to go.
Please.
But it's so many different things that we could do that you can launch. And so for even a game developer to bring something to Apple or Google and get it approved, especially, I mean, let's face it, whether it's play to earn or has any other kind of crypto aspect to the game,
That's the problem.
they're not very friendly with that, especially Apple, right? And so being able to launch
100%.
something within Telegram gives you so much capability. And Telegram's not small by any means. It's got what,
No,
over
it's
a billion
massive.
users, I think.
And I think as well, so even, with Blockmob, we're working with like Telegram Foundation as well to like see how we can, assist on that part. And, it's interesting, Telegram, I mean, like you said, probably in excess of over a billion users per month, whereas something like, a Snapchat, for example, is doing, I think, like 800 million users per month. So just to give a scale sort of dynamic, because a lot of people are familiar with Snapchat, but they deem Telegram to be like for scammers, for example. That seems to be a very typical sort of like, consensus surrounding, Telegram's nature, which is unfortunate. It's such an efficient and far more, I think, user friendly experience to like a WhatsApp or, any sort of other messaging app. So, I think it's just super efficient. And like you said, even when it comes to, customizing capabilities and being able to reskin an entire app for, let's say, Hamster Combat's 100 million people, being able to do that without going through 2 weeks of, checks that you'd have to do through Google Play Store and Apple's App Store is, invaluable to be able to get that launched within minutes to maybe like an hour across 100 million different devices is, yeah, why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the other maybe categories you've seen recently that are picking up more interest in terms of development, because I would think, and I don't know, maybe you can confirm or maybe tell me if I'm right or not, but it seems like we're going to see more and more advanced DeFi tools. Are you seeing a lot of interest in DeFi protocols? Because most people think of DeFi to think of staking, lending, providing liquidity right on a DEX, and are using a decentralized exchange. But I think there's so much more. Have you guys seen any kind of uptick in that?
Yeah, there's definitely been an uptick. I do wish I could delve into more because there's been one in particular that piques my interest, but sadly can't get into it too much. But I do definitely see an uptick on that side. I do see, the rise in AI being introduced into like further DeFi protocols and
Yeah.
DeFi products as well to bring to market. That's probably been the initial thing that's, I'd say, happened maybe like early Q3, like late
Yeah.
Q2, I think I saw more of a rise on that side. But I do see that only increasing more. Um, yeah, everything even just on the AI agent side and like, making these sorts of I guess like API capabilities within the DeFi space. That it's very exciting, but so much is happening in that side. Even with just the payment side as well and the AI integration just through payment systems. Yeah, it's huge, and it's not like completely new. Like I do think like DeFi as itself already solves a lot of issues, but I
Hmm.
do see the capabilities being a lot more exciting, a lot, I guess, out there. The teams are getting smaller, the capabilities are getting bigger.
Yeah.
The funding requirements are, diminishing, which is great. But then again, I do see the potential to raise increasing. So it's, yeah, a lot more competition. I think the market will, sort of rise as time goes on, and people sort of see the first movers, place their cards and see how that transpires. But I'm excited, and we're getting an increasing uptick of, uh, more rigorous DeFi use cases for sure.
Gotcha. And you kind of weaved in the next topic I was going to ask about, which was AI, right? I mean, AI,
Okay,
we're seeing creep into everything so much. And
absolutely
these AI agents are amazing. Like you can automate so many
incredible.
different things. And even if money is needed, like for those agents to perform certain tasks, they can hold crypto
Yeah,
wallets. I think people don't realize that even if you haven't even taken a look at crypto and you want to launch AI agents, and if those agents have to do things that would require payment, that AI agent's not going to be able to set up a bank account, right? It's going to have to.
exactly.
It would either recruit a human to do it for it, or it would set up
Which is
a
crazy
crypto
to say
wallet.
out loud.
Yeah, I know, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, and outside of that, I could see a day, and it's probably happened already, where an AI agent is going to hire a human to solve captchas for it.
That would be insane.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would actually be insane.
right.
No, I can see that for sure. For sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been playing around recently. I don't know if you've heard of virtuals. That
I've heard of
project
virtual.
virtual.
Their token. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the token, but also to where you can create your own AI agent,
Yes.
and they create their own token, and when that token gets a certain market value, this thing can completely run social media accounts, responding to social media accounts. Like,
That's insane.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's a couple I followed that really give some good market indicators. Um,
100%.
AI XBT was one of the guys recently turned me on to, and I follow their Twitter, and man, they give some really good, call outs to what's happening in the market.
Yes.
And I think we were only scratching the surface for that. So it's crazy to
Oh
see.
yeah.
But I mean, also what you mentioned about smaller teams, right?
Mhm.
You need smaller dev teams, and that's just the benefit. People need to take notice of AI and don't dismiss it one way or
Yes.
another because the people that scream in fear that AI is going to take your job, no, it's gonna. But people that know how to use it and leverage it are going to be the ones that are in demand. So you create your own job security by sticking with it. I hate
Agreed.
that whole narrative when people say it's going to steal jobs because you know what I mean. The tractor stole jobs from people that worked on farms many years ago. You know,
Yep, it's just an enhancement tool at the end of the day, and the more capable we become with these tools and comfortable, the better our chances are for creating our own individual sort of like whether it's wealth, whether it's security, those options are there for those that are willing to sort of venture out a little bit.
gotcha, gotcha. All right, man. Let's jump into Mizan. So tell us what
Yes.
Mizan is and what you guys are doing over there.
Absolutely. So Mizan Group as a whole is an entity. Is the group which will serve for a lot of my own sort of business ventures. But within Mizan Group is Mizan Venture Partners, which is my main focus at the moment, and we are a systems venture collective. Soon to be, we aspire to be a full-fledged fund. And yeah, essentially we have an algorithmic system that trades microcap stocks and soon to be potentially mid-cap stocks. And this is, of course, not Web3 related because I'm a big believer in, of course, diversifying where possible. But it's a very exciting venture for me, and my partners and clients involved. And yeah, effectively, yeah, we trade microcap stocks and do so very successfully. So it's an exciting time. And the goal for that as well is not to just solely be a microcap stock system business or have just that singular system. I'm always exploring and working on systems with the team within maybe even a utility token space, potentially meme coin tokens as well. There's potential for these things, but yeah, starting off with
Yeah,
these two mid and microcap industries to start.
gotcha. Well, I mean, the biggest thing about trading is when you figure out a system or something that works. It's not 100% carryover, but a lot of those strategies that work on stocks
100%.
well, you can't just plug and play, right? You're gonna have to tweak it a
Yeah.
little to go into whether it's like you said, regular crypto, meme coins. Even if you go into the forex market, there's some similarities there, and there's a lot of correlations in market movements too. So
For
definitely
sure.
a lot you could do.
Especially when it comes to the microcap stock space, it's far more volatile.
Yeah,
So, very crypto-esque feel,
yeah, yeah. I'm
to
about to say the same
it
thing. Yeah,
for sure, for sure. And it's so interesting because we're gathering data points from the market, around let's say like 9,000 data points from the market and funneling it through the system, which essentially gives us indicators as to why we should be getting into a particular stock or not. And we have about 16 different indicators, and if we get the green light on all 16, then we're good to execute. And it's something which you know huge props to the team. It's taken a while to develop, but getting some serious advancements, and it's yeah, just always interesting to just see what these different industries and financial instruments can achieve, whether it's crypto or non-crypto related. So I like having my toe in each ball, and just really seeing what can be done.
yeah. I mean, I see a time in the near future where it's all going to be related. I mean, you're
Absolutely.
like we don't. I think about for me, it was like the early 2000s. We called anybody that was online, they were an internet company or an online company. Now
Yeah.
every company is online. So when you look at the traditional world outside of crypto and blockchain, I think so many different companies and industries are going to be leveraging the technology. You're not going to call them blockchain companies. You're not going to call them crypto, Web3, or whatever. There's going to be companies that leverage the tech just like they leverage AI or anything else. They're not going to be an AI company. They're not going to be a blockchain company. There's going to be a company that uses those technologies. And that's when I think we've really hit a at least a mass adoption point where we quit saying, "Oh, that's a crypto company." No, everybody's going to be a company. You're just going to leverage it.
And I think these companies are waiting for that point of regulation to hit, to be like, okay, we know what this is, we know how we can utilize it. Let's explore and like really see what can be done.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of, you're right. It's definitely regulation and clarity on what they can and can't do. But then also it's going to be a bit, it's always these technologies, it's a bit of FOMO. Nobody wants to be the first, or most people don't want to, most companies don't want to be the first to try something out. But nobody wants to be the last. Nobody wants to be the last one when everybody else is doing it and you're the dinosaur in the room, because we've seen what happened to those companies that fail to adopt and then they're too late shifting, and then they're basically a dinosaur that's going extinct.
Completely agree. And I think we saw that with the NFT space when there were hardly any companies, and then a lot of the mainstream companies started to trial out. We saw it with Lamborghini, we saw it with Nike, many other different companies. And, they said, oh, well, kind of, didn't really work out. Just everyone dropped off at once, it felt like. And I think, could potentially see similar trends as we gear up for mass adoption, I think.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Cameron, man, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Before we wrap up, can you share any final words or any final words for the audience to leave them with?
Yeah, so I'd say, for anyone that's thinking of building within the Web3 space or Web3 adjacent, I think surrounding yourself with the right people, really doing that deeper dive. I found my way into the space just from curiosity alone. So I think, if you've got that level of hunger and curiosity to sort of reach out to people, like Wayne, myself and others, just, get that insight or get that degree of clarification. I think, just doing that could definitely be a massive help. And when it comes to, I'd say, avoiding like scams as well, I think something that it doesn't get touched on enough because the space is very early. But just be vigilant. Take things with a pinch of salt and validate through communities. It's a very community heavy industry. So, get involved and just be vigilant, be safe. That'll probably be my final words, I'd say.
Nice, man. I'm going to give you credit for one other thing, man. I saw in your profile that stuck out, which was, I think it was the end tagline was, "The future is bright, dare to be different," right? I give you credit for that. I like that when I saw it. Certain things that stick out, I'm like, more people need to think like that, right?
Thank you so much. I'm a big advocate on that. And one thing I'm sure we can, I'll be posting about in future, but I'm going through the journey of being an author, so writing, my first book. So that whole premise of, the future is bright, dare to be different is something I will be touching on in that. So, love to sort of like keep up the tune with that. I'll be posting about that on my LinkedIn, on my Instagram and all that good stuff as, I go through that process. But I think it's such an important thing, just be your authentic self and just really just go for it. For one life, why not?
Definitely. All right. So one last thing before we wrap up, can you tell everyone what's the best place to connect with you on socials or anywhere else?
Absolutely. So I'm most active. My LinkedIn is where I'm most prominent. So you can find me there, Cameron Mordi-Semple. I'm sure my name will be somewhere in the title or in the bio. And also Instagram, I'd say in X. So my Instagram is CMSNOVA. So that's CMS Nova on Instagram. And then my X or Twitter is CMSNOV4. Please do not hesitate to come with questions. Or just, I love seeing inspiring people do great things. And I'd love to connect.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Cameron, thanks again for joining us today, man. It's been a pleasure. Thanks everybody for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
Take care.